Welcome to this episode of Mr. Beirwagen's Neighborhood. I'm just really grateful to have with me today my very dear friend Alex Cross. We've known each other since the mid to late 80s, I think.
Yes.
We were both 12, as I recall.
Yes.
Yes. You were in the business world, CEO of a corporation for years, and then retired, became a pastor. And now you have a very interesting retirement job. You are the chaplain for one of the local cities here in the greater Portland metro area, which is a very interesting position and place for you. I think you're perfectly suited for that role. Tell me a little bit about tell me about what you do.
I serve a police force and the community that police force serves, and it really is a matter of service. When I'm at the police station, I use the phrase, I loiter with intent. And when I'm on a scene with officers serving somebody traumatized by a life event in the community, then I focus mostly on the people at the scene and help them realize that trauma changes us all.
So you go on site of the trauma just with moments after it's happening and helping the folks working through things.
That is correct. I will usually get a call from 911 dispatch, and they'll give me the location, and then I'll connect with the officer on scene to know the details of the event, and then I will meet face to face with family who've been impacted severely by a death or some life event. And most of us don't know that our brain changes right at that moment.
So you're talking to the folks, you go in, what are some of the things that you say when you first arrive on the scene?
Actually, just introduce myself and help them understand mentally what's just happened to them, because ironically, it is bothering any individual when your mental framework changes suddenly. And I try to lighten the environment. So I will look around, and if there are ladies in the group, I'll just say to them, we men have to acknowledge you're all way smarter than us.
Yeah, interesting.
Because from birth, both sides of your brain have been functioning very well, and so you multitask much better than we do. But at the moment of the trauma, your brain slammed the door shut between the left and right hemisphere, and now you're thinking like a man, and that's really upsetting you because you are just finding you can't bring to your mind things that you knew moments ago, or you can't recall names, or you don't know where your driver's license is.
See, that's very normal for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I turn to the guys, and that's another lightening of the conversation, Mike, is just to say to them, yeah, we can acknowledge that what the ladies just said, that's our normal, but we also are abnormal, because for us, it's the frontal cortex that the gate shut on. And so now we're just sitting here almost without the ability to cognitively process anything.
So then what happens next? You've explained kind of what they're experiencing, and then what do you do next?
Next is just listen, and there is no formula, because every circumstance, every person is unique. I try to respect the uniqueness of the individual. And often the traumatic event, the individuals I'm meeting with, they've played a part in this event. It's a family. And so there is some family story behind what has just occurred, and their need to share that story is significant. And so
they need to talk it through.
They need to talk it through. They need to explain, because what it has done is it's set off a merry-go-round in their head of thought that won't stop. And so my job is just to give them a chance to stop the merry-go-round, and that happens most easily when they talk. And so my job was mostly listening. It's not asking questions, although I'll prompt them from time to time with something. And so being sensitive, very sensitive, is part of the process, and that's a learning process for all of us.